Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. In this live stream, we are going to be discussing the match that we just saw between the Springboks and the British and Irish Lions. For anyone who doesn't know the score of this match, in the end, the British and Irish Lions, they won the first match, but this match went to South Africa in the end, winning this match 27 points to 9. They were able to score the 2 tries, 1 try for Lucanio Arm and also 1 try for Makazole Mapimpi, who did actually get awarded the player of the match in this one as well. But it was a very interesting contest. 2 yellow cards in that first half as well. 2 more than the last match between the British and Irish Lions and the Springboks. But we are going to be talking about a few of the events that did take place throughout this match and also a few of the stats that were on the on the cards as well. But if you do enjoy this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. But at this stage, we have got Katie in the chat, has said these 2 mad lads, Alwyn Jones and even Etzebeth Bumfa as well. And tell you what, there was a lot of physicality out on that field, and also in that situation there was a lot of aggression. We saw early on that there was going to be possibly a few interesting situations, few interesting battles as well, I guess I could say, between the likes of Etzebeth and Alwyn Jones, like you mentioned, just getting right into each other's face early on in the match. Also a bit of push and shove with Stuart Hogg, and I believe it was Willie LaRue, also not too happy with each other. But the yellow cards in this one went to, it was Duan van der Merwe for the British and Irish Lions, and then the other went to Cheslin Colby, who really didn't have the best game once again, Cheslin Colby, unfortunately for him. But I have a feeling that massive performance that he knows how to do will be coming up maybe soon. Could it be next week that he does have it? We will have to wait and see. But yeah, he ended up with a yellow card for taking out, it was, I believe, Ali Price. No, sorry, it was Conor Murray in the air. Now, that yellow card, it was on the fence. Some people saying it's a red, some people saying it's a yellow. The way that I saw him fall for the start, I thought it was actually going to be given as a red card up against Cheslin Colby. I said it on the live stream. I said straight away, that's a red. I have a feeling he is going off the field. But he did actually get to stay out there, or he did get to come back after going off the field, I should say. He did end up with that yellow card. And then there was also, in the end, it was Duhan van der Merwe who did end up kicking Cheslin Colby, which ended up getting him the yellow. Bias Northern Hemisphere calling for red cards galore against a Bok as well. Says it Marco Vonopola Bear. But yeah, other than those ones, I think they were the 2 big talking points. There was a denied try early on in the match, or kind of early on for, it was Robbie Henshaw. But in the end, the ball game free in his hands from Sia Khaleesi with some great defense in this matchup. There were quite a few players, in my opinion, for the Springboks, who you probably say, like, they had good games. There was no one individual, I don't think. I mean, Mapimpi was very good. I feel like maybe he could have been that player that you say is just a bit above the rest. But overall, the Springboks, they seem to have just a solid performance across the board. Whereas for the British and Irish Lions, there were a few standouts in the match for me. I thought Marco Vonopola actually had a very good game in the number 1 jersey. Rory Sutherland coming on for him later on in the first half. That's the thing. The first half actually ended up going for 60 minutes in the end because of all of the time that it's been going to the TMOs and everything like that. Anyone wondering why my voice sounds terrible? It is because I was getting pretty excited in that live stream because of the fact that, yeah, it was just a very good game to watch as well. Wino mentioned of Atoje's head. Oh, sorry, a knee on an Delande's head. I didn't actually see that one at the time. I think I was reading the chat, but someone in the chat actually mentioned it, so I might have to have a look back and see what the situation with that was. But how's it as well in the chat from Rolly? Welcome in to the live stream, man. And we have what's got why wasn't Mish carded last week? And that is Hamish Watson for that tackle, yeah, above the horizontal. So it's an interesting one in Colby's eyes. We're on the ball constantly. Murray landed safely, considering red, harsh, yellow acceptable as well, says Marco Vonopola Bear. But yeah, at that stage, tell you what, there was a big injury early on in that game, though, that we should mention, and that is Peter Steph-Toy going off the field early on in the matchup, and it was Quaha Smith who actually made his way out there to replace him. And then there was a late injury for Faf de Klerk, and that is someone that they will not be wanting to lose heading forward. The Springboks definitely with the decider next week. Duan van der Merwe kicking Colby. They don't talk about it. The Northern Hemisphere blokes quite in that regard. I feel like with the fact that it is 1-1 as well, there's going to be a huge rivalry going into the third game. I saw that someone, in fact, I actually mentioned it at one stage, that people were saying whether or not Warren Gatlin was going to make a video. And I said if he was to do it, it would only be for the mind games. I don't think he would actually sit down and kind of go through everything to do with the refereeing, because of the fact, I know this is going to sound bad, I am from New Zealand, and so is Ben O'Keefe, the head referee. I didn't think he did too badly in this game overall. I think they actually did a lot better than last week in terms of being able to go to the TMO and be confident with the decision that was going to be made. Like we saw that try of Lucanio arm. It looked close to him almost losing control of the ball, but just enough of the forearm still touching it to be able to count. And they kind of, the way that the TMO, excuse me, I'm just choking quickly, but yeah, the way that the TMO and Ben O'Keefe were able to communicate, I thought was pretty good in this one as well. And we have got in there, maybe Steve Hansen should make a video about 2017 Lions tour, as well as Marco Vonapolwe, and also next week will be interesting. Hope it is going to be Peter Steffatoy and Fluff okay. And we have also got there, hi, hope you're well, says 11J said. I was a bit upset when Tatoy went off injured. He put in a lot of work for to be ready for the series and gets injured so soon into this game. Yeah, and I believe it was a shoulder or somewhere around there, if I'm not wrong. And we have also got in the chat, I don't think I can read that one out there, AOR, but I have read it in my head. We have got no problem, Kiwi Wan. It's not your voice. All Blacks lost their legs if we play South Africa, or if they play South Africa, says Chris Fenter. And that's the thing, 100th test match coming up between those two sides. That's going to be an absolutely phenomenal clash when we do get to see it. But we will look through some of the stats of this clash that we did witness. And by the looks of it, it's an interesting one. Possession in the end, according to the stats that I've got in front of me, 50-50, 64% of the territory, 64% of the possession in the second half going to the Springboks there, and 60% in the first half. So kind of a game of two halves once again. But overall, I would say the scrum was the dominant factor at times for the Springboks, whereas the line-out was actually what was helping out the British and Irish Lions, able to turn over 2 line-outs in the first half, which I feel like are just huge. And they are a bit of that gold dust to be able to stop that momentum when a side are trying to make their way forward. No complaints here. Better team won on the day. No point in referring to decisions that went against the Lions. There were a few, but they didn't cause the loss as well, says Sick Boy. And I feel like that is a good way of looking at it as well. I think at the end of the day, it's one of those ones that unfortunately, like the refereeing at the time, we can look back at it and go all of the mistakes that they did make throughout a match. But at the end of the day, the game is over. And at this stage now, it is 1-1. So now both of these sides, they need to forget about these first 2 games, or they'll take moments from these first 2 games to be able to build into that third one, which is where it all matters. Because of the fact, if you lose that third game, you lose the series. And that is a very daunting task for any side to be able to comprehend, because of the fact, if you put one foot wrong, could be the foot that does cost you a whole tour in that regard. And please say, how's it? I'm not sure what that second word means. So unfortunately, I can't say that, but I will just say, how's it as well. And we have also got there in the chat, he has put low after you've said a Marco Vonapolwe, so I'm worried it is something bad, but we have also got definitely relief for South Africa this week though. Happy with the result, but South Africa and especially de Klerk and Colby need to work on discipline and not be so reckless. Yeah, Chisel and Colby for me, this tour, compared to how he was playing at Toulouse, it's been a little bit surprising in how he has gone, but it's one of those ones. Anthony Watson is just a class winger out on the wing for the British and Irish Lions, and we hardly see him in these matches. I think he touched the ball about 3 times in that second half. But other than that, overall, you don't really get an opportunity to see the wingers. Like Mapimpi in this game did extremely well to get the ball as much as he did, because of the fact that throughout these games, it seems to be all happening in the midfield. But a cross kick was actually the cause of the try for Mapimpi, and it was the cross kick from Handré Pollard. He was getting a little bit of stick, but in the end, he was able to get himself in the situation of it being able to get that cross kick. 7 from 9 as well with the kicking, which was pretty solid. He started off a little bit rough, but in the end, Handré Pollard was able to show that class, and I think he has possibly secured that number 10 jersey for next week. It means sheep as well, says Rolly. And also we have got Bok made it, says Jan, and also garbage out of garbage. Fill the side with English and Scottish players, and look at the result. Took a Welsh man to score all the points, says Rich. And I mean, that's the thing. Where is Josh Adams at this stage? I'm not sure whether or not surely he's not injured. I know that he did have a baby recently, or not him, but his wife did. And that was why he was missing one of the earlier games in the tour. But I'm surprised he hasn't been out there yet, Josh Adams. Definitely with now Duan Fundamura, I think we are going to get to see Josh Adams next week. And he is going to be marking up against Chisel and Colby. And that is going to be one of the best battles out on the field, I have a feeling. But yeah, overall, slightly surprising with the fact that Adams hasn't been selected for either of these matches. I guess they're going with that size and the speed of Duan Fundamura, but then you lose a bit of size, but you still have 100% speed from Josh Adams there as well. And we have got there, means hi, and like men, and want to kiss George passionately and share with him. It's also Marco Vonapolwe here, which is an interesting statement. And then we have also got there, I think South Africa were a bit lucky not to be cutted a few more times but don't want to complain. Hopefully they work on it next week, and this week will hopefully be easier than the last was. Yeah, it's going to be exciting to see how this third match goes. The last time a side that lost the first lost the first match of the Test series, won a series with 1989. We are talking many years ago, many tours ago as well. So if they are going to be able to do so here, the Springboks would be very class of them. But if there's anywhere to do it, it is on that home turf at, I believe it will be Cape Town Stadium once again. This third game is going to be more English players. Box would have loved to put 50 points on the board as well, says Awa. And also we have got there Dan Bigger waving his arms around, acting like injured, like a soccer player when Makazole pushed him. I expected nothing less from Danny Boy, says Marco Vonopolabia. I think it was Mbonambi who gave him the shunt in the back, though. It was a solid unit, but yeah, it's an interesting one because of the fact I think the referees in this game did take charge the way that they needed to, possibly in that first game as well, in terms of being kind of assertive at the same time. Like in the scrums, Ben O'Keefe was just like, after a little bit of the push and shove, he brought both the captains over and he was like, right, boys, we're not having this in this game. If this continues, we are taking players off the field. It's like when both sides had a yellow card off the field as well. He brought them over and he said, right, any more of this and I am taking more players off the field. He was very much clear in that regard, and I feel like that was something that did make it clear to the players and also to the everyone else as well, that they needed to make sure that they were very careful. I do think Josh Adams would be I do think bringing Josh Adams in would solve a lack of tries problem 100%. Looking forward to seeing what changes are made next week, and I would say the Springboks will stay the same as well. Says Thick Boy, yeah, the Springboks, they've got a solid foundation for sure, and it's based all around that World Cup winning side. They're only making a couple changes each week, and more or less it is pretty much players who were on the bench moving into that starting lineup. I'd say next week, though, if Faf de Klerk and also the injury of Peter Steph-Toy, with a couple of those injuries, perhaps who would be the third option for your halfback that they would go with? I know they've got Herschel Yankees. Who is the third option that the Springboks have in the squad? Do let me know if you guys do know. I think Itoje was lucky to walk off the field and instead of leaving on a stretcher. Yeah, he was firing up the Springboks, that is for sure. Him and Etzebeth, and also Etzebeth and Alan Jones, they were both just getting right in each other's faces in the early stages, and Williamson and Adamson as well, says Smitty. So that would be, Liam Williams, I believe it is. I think maybe was he injured in this one, which was why he didn't end up playing. Could have been the case. I wonder if we will see a 62-minute video from Catlin now. As I says 11J said, I think if he did do it, it would only be out of kind of trying to play the mind games. I don't think he would do it purely looking at the results as well. And we have got Reinach as well as the third option. So he is a very good player. So that could be an exciting combo if that is the case, if de Klerk is going to be injured. But of course, they will be hoping he isn't. It looked like the way that he fell and grabbed it was the outer leg on the upper side. So maybe a groin or something along those lines, which is normally a pretty painful one, that is for sure. The best bet in South Africa is a lion chippy or a lion choppy as well, says Chris Venter. And also we have got, was it a good match, says Sia Ember. Sia Ember. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. But yeah, overall, I think it was a lot better than last week. And I'm not saying that because of the result, because I know a lot of people will say you're from New Zealand, you're going for the Springboks. As you guys who have followed the channel for a long time, I'm always down the middle in these games. And I just feel that the communication side of it between the referee and the players was just a lot stronger this week than it was last week. And it did lead to kind of players well and truly knowing if you do this, you're getting penalised. If you do this, you're getting taken off the field, etc. And I think it did lead to both sides being able to play kind of a little bit more free-flowing rugby than what they would have been expecting, even though, of course, we had a lot of TMO decisions throughout this game that did take up a lot of time. We have got there. Thanks for streaming the test game. Very much appreciated. The Lions have a lot of making up to do today. They were utterly disappointing as well, says Sebastian. Yeah, the first half didn't go too bad for them. And then the second half just did. Unfortunately, they ended up not getting much of the ball. 36% possession when you are slowly just drifting away after that first try for Mapimpi. From there, they needed to be able to get their hands back on the ball and keep on building. But unfortunately, it just didn't happen. So now after 2 test matches, the British and Irish Lions have scored 1 try. And of course, the Springboks, one of the best defence, if not the best defence in the world. But they need to find a way of breaking it, or else they are going to go into this third match and they're only going to be able to rely on the discipline of the Springboks to be able to win them this game for the third test match, because of the fact if you can't get over the try line, you're not getting 5 or 7 points at a time. And that can be huge in these close matches that we have been seeing for this one. Of course, this one, a little bit less close, but you need to make sure that you do find your way over the try line as many times as you can. We have also got all South Africa talked about last week. Or was the ref last week? And let's look at the laws. Let's look at making someone land on their head high after a high tackle and no arms tackle on a rolling ball or ball rolling around on an arm, as well as this midi. And also we have got there which was supposed to be grounded. I think it was the case of they decided it was enough of a hand or enough of contact on it. From one angle, I did think that he had lost it. And from the first angle, when I first saw him score it, I thought he had scored it. So I was caught in the middle. So I was glad I wasn't Ben O'Keefe in that situation. Different Kiwi had to make that decision in that situation. And Marco, you're my legend as well, says Henk. And also we have got in there as a Reinach as the spare sub for them if de Klerk is injured, which hopefully he isn't, because of the fact that I feel like he could be one of the keys for the Springboks in this one. Thanks, Kiwi Man, you're the best. I'm going to sleep. I hope all South Africans like and share your channel. They all will like your community. Or sorry, they will all like your commentary, says Chris Venter, and thank you very much, mate. But anyone who is just tuning in now who maybe didn't see our live stream of the game, pretty much we do provide the live commentary while you guys are tuning in, and also chat along with the chat as well. So if you are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button, because we are going to be back next week with the decider. We will be analyzing the match, as we go. Henk, Brahma, I will send you a 40-piece KFC pack, my usual post-game snack. Oh, I'd love a bit of KFC now. You put it in my head, Marco Vutapola. We have also got there, and there, thanks. We have got, how does an Aussie find a sheep in tall grass? Very satisfying. How does an Aussie find a sheep in tall grass? Answer, very satisfying. I'm not too sure what you mean. Oh, I feel like that one's completely gone over my head. Do excuse me. It is currently 6:45 a.m. here in New Zealand, so I feel like some jokes might not hit the spot like they would during the day. Thank you, Marco. Hope I will play like you as well. I'm also a prop, so I really look up to you as well, says Henk. And also we have got there, wonder if South Africa stick with the 6-2 split now, or if it's back to the 5-3. I feel like that 6-2 split wasn't as effective as they would have liked it to be, only because of the fact that Peter Steph did get injured so early in that first half. So they had to make that sub. So they were pretty much back to almost it being a little bit of I think you could call it, it became a 5-2 split in the end for them. But I think maybe they will go with it again, depending on who they decide to go with on the bench. Of course, if they have got de Klerk out, maybe they change their game plan a little bit more. And also if they decide to switch Pollard, which I think a lot of people wanted to see. But after the end of this game, I think they decided that he was the man for the job. A little bit too less close as well. No way, says Living Colours. And at this stage, I meant a little bit too less close in the first game, because of the fact that, it finished. It was very close indeed, that first game. I believe it was only 5 point different, 22 to the Springboks and a total of 17 to the, 22 to British and Irish Lions, 17 to the Springboks. There it is. Has just popped up on the screen now. And in the end, they were able to get that win, but less close in this game. I think the third game is going to be the case if the British and Irish Lions can score some tries as well. We have also got in there, joke, I look up to Kitsoff and Bongi as well in the chat. And also we have got in there, South Africa talking about crybabies this week has been incredibly unsporting as well, says Smithy. And it's going to be interesting to see what the media say this week, because of the fact that I assume both coaches, they will fire their shots like they normally do. But I don't think it's going to be to the extent of what we had this week, because of the fact that now it's all to play for in that last match. And at the end of the day, out on the field, they will be doing their talking, the players, and they need to make sure that they're doing the talking the loudest, because if they get that win, it will get them the series as well. And we have also got there the 6-2 split, unsurprisingly worked for the Springboks anyways, as it well, says Sammy Souza. And also the referee was man of the match for the Springboks. Marius Jonker was the 16th man. Colby should have been sent off and knocked the ball on. Henshaw denied a clear try as well, says Sandra Smith at this stage in the chat. And we have also got there, bring on Williams, Adams, and Simmons as well, says Smithy. But going back to that red card as well, I actually thought, right when I saw it, I thought they were going to give the red card to Chisel and Colby because of the fact that the way that he fell, Conor Murray, it did end up with the head making contact with the ground. But the referee at the time, I think they actually said he fell on his back, which I wasn't too sure of at that stage. I've been watching the live stream on Gareth Mason's as well. How did his live stream go, Sammy Sosa? Do let me know. I know he was covering this match as well. Hopefully it did go very well for him. I know that a lot of Springboks supporters would have been extremely happy with that result. And Hogdoan and Watson need to be dropped for Adams, Williams, and possibly Lewis Rees-Zammit. That is another name that we haven't even seen yet. I didn't actually think of Rees-Zammit, but I definitely want to see Adams get a chance out there. Liam Williams, Stuart Hogg overall for me at fullback did actually pretty decent. if I'm not wrong. Like, he dropped the ball a couple of times, but overall, under the high ball, he was pretty solid. But then he did miss the tackle on Mapimpi. That did open up the first try. But it's one of those ones, I think Adams, 100% for me. If I was Warren Gatlin, which of course I'm not, because he is well and truly more up there than me, but I would have Adams out there. He's got to replace Duan Vandermerwe for me, in my opinion, for that number 11 jersey. And we have got there in the chat, Smithy, listen to yourself, says Chris there. And also we have got there, Lions could make 5 or 6 changes. And do you think there is a chance that the last game is going to be played at Newlands? I really hope so. As well, says 11J said, I think they will just go with the safe option of having it at Cape Town Stadium again, because the worst thing to have happen is in transit, someone somehow picks up a case. Because, I mean, these 2 test matches a few weeks ago, it didn't seem like they were going to be able to happen, but they've been able to play it in a safe environment. We haven't had any COVID cases in those games from those 2. So I think they just would go with the safe option because of the fact that you can't have the crowd anyway. I think you are better off just making sure that all of the players and everything is still going to be safe so that you can have this one going ahead. But I realized I did say that I was going to mention some stats, and then I never actually got to the stats other than 50-50 in terms of the possession in the end of this one. Of course, 60% for the British and Irish Lions in the first half, 64% for the Springboks in the second. Looking at the tries, 2-0 in this one. It was Mapimpi, and also it was who was able to score the second try. Dan Bigger, 75% for his kicking, 3 from 4. Andre Pollard kicking 7 from 5. I believe it was, if I'm not wrong. Or maybe it was a few more than 5. Actually, it would have been, was it 6 from 8 actually in the end for Andre Pollard. But at the stage, tackle success rate, 90% for the Springboks. They actually missed quite a few tackles in that first half. But then from there, they were able to bring it back to only missing 13 of the 131. The British and Irish Lions didn't actually miss a tackle in that first half. But then in that situation, it was 101 tackles attempted and a total of 94 made by the British and Irish Lions. And we have also got in there, Smithy, we have got also in there, Hogg, I think, played okay, but there's always some doubt under a high ball, unlike Williams. Yeah, that is true. Liam Williams, safe as houses under that high ball. So perhaps, would they decide to bring in 3 Welshmen for the final match? It will be interesting to see whether or not that will be the case. I feel like I mentioned, they got to bring in Adams, and I feel like Reece Samet, will he be wasted out on the wing? That's my only concern. Like, we've seen Watson, and we've also seen Vandermerwe out on each wing. They have hardly been receiving the ball. So I feel like, yes, it's great to have that pace, but if the defense is going to be able to cover them, I feel like it's going to be tough for them to be able to get as much of an opportunity as they can. It's like Cheslin Colby in this match as well, pretty quiet. But Mapimpi showed that if you have got that pace, and also if you can receive a cross kick from Andre Pollard, you're in a decent situation. It's going to be that chasing the kick, I think, that the likes of Reece Samet and Adams will be able to do very well. And also Liam Williams, if he does put the up and under as well. We have got in there, we have got, so Hogg has to go, says Smitty, and also we have got in there, Gareth Mason himself started becoming more enthusiastic when the game started getting really good in the Springboks' favour, despite calming his nerves with shots a little earlier on. Was he in the pub, Sammy Sosa, or was he just in his normal, in his house? Do let me know. I have been watching a few of his live streams recently because of the fact we have been talking of maybe trying to get a collaboration together. So maybe we could get one going for next week. Will we do something random and bring in Marcus Smith? Probably not, says Smithy. I think they will, unless there is an injury to Dan Bigger, I think they will consistently probably stick with Bigger throughout and not really take that risk, because he's been solid in the kicking game in the first half for the British and Irish Lions. The little chips in behind, they were working very nicely. It was that what almost led to the try of Robbie Henshaw, although I believe, if I'm not wrong, that was actually a kick by Connor Murray, little chip in behind. Let's go. I think we're watching the best rugby of our lives. TMO is killing the rhythm of the game as well, says Manu upstairs. Yeah, that's the thing. In this game, Man upstairs, I believe it is. But yeah, we had around a 65-minute first half in terms of all of the stoppages and play that we did receive throughout this one. We were going upstairs for yellow cards, going upstairs for a couple of the no tries as well that we did get to see. So hopefully they can find a way of speeding it up. And I will give credit to Ben O'Keefe in that second half, because he did say at one stage when the players were just standing around, he went, right, boys, we need to keep this game going, or else we're just going to end up in it just being 2 stop-start. The referee missed 3 red cards and a try. As well, says Smithy, where were your red cards in terms of I assume it was the de Klerk one, possibly, that did happen. And also, of course, Cheslin Colby. But where is the other one? Is it the one, the low tackle by Mbonambi, maybe? I'm not too sure. Do let me know And we have also got there, I think we have also got there, I would love to see Marcus Smith. He has more than proven himself against the Stormers. He had a brilliant debut for the British and Irish Lions, that is for sure, in that matchup against the Stormers. And what is the channel, the replays, or that replays the game on YouTube? You recommended last time was at NZ Rugby Vids as well, like that. It was actually Forever Sports, but their channel got taken. Oh, no, sorry, it wasn't Forever Sports. Sorry, it was actually Full Force Rugby was the name, but their channel got taken down off YouTube due to copyright. So that channel actually disappeared. But I believe he has a backup channel, but I'm not sure whether or not he will be uploading it on it. But I know that there will be hopefully highlights lurking around YouTube at some stage. I don't think there'll be a full replay, though, because normally Sands are pretty strict with taking those down. Even these commentary ones sometimes are a little bit iffy. But luckily, we have been able to get through 2 of the matches so far. 3K, what game were you watching? Let me guess. You're from the UK as well, says Chris Seo. And also, we have got my alarm didn't go off this morning. And now I've missed one of the great games this year as well, says David. David, don't worry, though. We have still got the decider that is going to be taking place next week. And it is going to be the decider, which is going to be very exciting indeed. I've just realized the camera's a little bit off. Normally, we have a little bit more Kieran in this shot. He will be very disappointed not getting his camera time. Everyone who is a member, be sure to put those Kieran emojis in the chat as well so that everyone can see his face once again. And that's one thing that I absolutely love about the channel memberships is the fact that we have been able to put that Kieran emoji. I can't actually put it myself, though, I don't think, or can I? Wait up. I'm going to try this. I haven't actually used too much of the Kieran emoji yet, but that is what I'm going to be doing right now. We have what's got, why did they keep saying, or why did they keep the South Africa TMO? I assume it's just because neither side complained. In that regard, I assume if one did complain, then they would have possibly gotten rid of him, maybe, but I'm not too sure. They decided to go with him once again. Maybe he was the only one who was available at that stage. And we have also got, he was in the hub, Kiwi lads, and he was getting wasted slowly but surely as well, says Savvy Souza. And at this stage, I do see we are also sitting on 18 likes. So if you haven't already, be sure to leave a like on this live stream. We have got over 100 people watching. So if you haven't already, be sure to hit that like button. Let's try and push ourselves towards maybe 30 live streams or 30 likes, sorry, within the next little while. I'll tell you what, we're going to put some Kieran emojis in the chat. I absolutely love this one. Isaac has done extremely well with the design of this emoji. You guys in the live chat can see it now. If you do want access to that Kieran emoji, it is through the channel memberships option. If that is something you guys are keen on, we have got Hog doesn't give a second goal kicking option though, and I would say so. I would say he stays as well, says a thick boy, and also we have got their kicking option. Oh, sorry, I just read that. Liam Williams and Josh Adams on the wings for me as well. Yeah, I want to see Josh Adams play. I feel like the way that he was going earlier on in the competition, like in the British and Irish Lions tour, that is, he's got to have some game time. Surely he gets some soon. Fantastic game, says Max as well. And we have also got there. Thanks for your time. Stay well. Have a good one. As well, says 11J said, and also with the donation. Thank you very much, mate. Oops, that was what is the score? The score was 27 points to South Africa, 9 to the British and Irish Lions. There we go. We have put that one up. Unfortunately, it just says super sticker, but it was a wow from 11J said, and it is very much appreciated, mate, for that donation. First one of the day as well for this British and Irish Lions post-match review, and also combined with the other one that we did have a little bit earlier on for the live stream that had a lot of support on it. So I do thank you all once again for that. And we have got Watson didn't come looking for the ball enough, and Vanamuva getting that yellow card makes him out of the team for me. Yeah, I feel like they need to put Adams out there somewhere on one of those wings, because I know that in the past Adams had a game at fullback, if I'm not wrong, a little bit earlier on, but I think they will be putting him out on the wing. And yeah, Liam Williams would be good to see, being able to see him get a chance at fullback in this game starting as well. Although last time he did actually get nailed in the tackle by Etzebeth, which was early on in that game. Teresa has put a few South African flags in the chat as well. And also, yeah, Colby high tackle. Colby hit someone, and Fifth, no arms tackle were questionable as well, says Smithy. And also we have got Curry, I think, says Smithy, and Lions get thumped or got thumped as well, says Teresa. And also the South African team don't pick who TMO as well, says Chris. And also we have got in there, a boy, shout out to my boy, long time, or love you long time, bro, as I say, Super Rainbow. I feel like I want to say that name, but I am worried because it's in brackets that it means that it could be a bad word. So we will have to wait and see. We have also got in there in the chat, is this going to show clips or just the discussion? Unfortunately, due to licensing, if I was to show any match footage or audio on this live stream, they would actually end up taking us off YouTube. So I am sorry about that, but we are just chatting about the key moments in this game, including Makazole Mapimpi scoring the first try. It was a cross kick off Andre Pollard, and it was a very nice one indeed. The second try coming for Lukanyu Arm did almost have control of the ball. It was very close, 50-50 of whether or not he did still have control of it, but it was given in that one, and because of it, it didn't mean it was the second try. Watson can play fullback too, as I said, Smithy, so maybe that's going to be an option. And shucks, says Max, I am sorry about that, mate. I wish that I was able to there, and we almost got give us a shout out as well. Love you, says Super Rainbow. I'm worried what that means. I'm going to have to do a Google search to see what it means, because I have been around for a little while, because of the fact that normally I end up saying words that are in different languages, and I end up getting myself in trouble. And at this stage, it seems like it might actually not be terrible, possibly. So Jabbles, shout out to you. Hopefully that's nothing bad. But we have also got there short for JB. Okay, wait, wouldn't it be long for JB? But shout out to Jabbles and also JB, I guess I should say as well. And Jack Black as well, says Super Rainbow. And we have got lol, why doesn't the British coach like Rusty Erasmus, says Manu. It's an interesting one. They've got that rivalry of both, I would say, the best two coaches in the world, or very high up there for both of them. So because of it, it does bring that competitive nature out of both of them. But I feel like it's only going to get real if Warren Gatland decides that he wants to make like an hour-long video just to take shots at Rassie Erasmus, but we will have to wait and see this week. As said, South Africa as well, from a South African New Rock brew, we've done it for the Southern Hemisphere, says Yako. And at this stage now, it does mean that the third test is going to be the one that is to play for. My screen has all of a sudden gotten very blue, or kind of like a bright white. I don't know whether that's just my eyesight kicking in, since it is currently 7 a.m. Still dark. Yeah, in New Zealand in winter, which is a bit of a shame. I'm sure the sun will come up hopefully soon, and it will be a nice day. But 13 defenders beaten for the British and Irish Lions in this one, 7 by the Springboks. So it's just going to be that case of who is going to have the better game in the second, and who is going to be able to put the performance together that wins them the tour as well. Can't wait for next week. AB's Plus Finals Lions test. We're spoiled for rugby. We are indeed. And also, if you love yourself a little bit of New Zealand provincial rugby, the Bunnings NPC going to be starting up. I feel like I'm almost just as excited for the Bunnings NPC this year. The likes of Auckland having Rayasi, Roger Tuivasa Sheck going to be getting a chance as well. And we have also got there in the chat, and it's also going to be Solomoni Kata, maybe, is the name that they have been predicting, possibly. And we have also got there J-Balls signing in as well, says Joshua. So thank you very much for coming to the live stream, mate. And yeah, if you are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. That is the link, Sebastian, to be able to become a channel member. That gives you exclusive access to emojis, also member-only live streams, as well as badges. As you are a member for more months on end, you do receive a higher-up badge right up until Diamond, which is for the 12 months. But yeah, it is all going straight back into the channel for those ones. And also, as we get more members, the channel, or YouTube, I should say, allow us to be able to have more, they allow us to have more emojis. So as we keep on building, and well, that wasn't a sentence. Well, hopefully you guys do what I meant. We have also got there, you should say, says Manu, I'm worried what that means as well. I feel like I'm not too sure, but Atoje is still immense as well. Says, oh yeah, he had a very good game. Player of the match in the first game. Player of the match in the second was Makazole Mapimpi, but Mara Atoje in that breakdown and also in the line-out, he was able to get 2 line-out steals, which is crucial for a side in the early stages of the match. What other live streams you got planned before the third test, bro? So what we are going to be having, I believe we're going to be having a few Bunnings NPC live streams, which is the New Zealand national competition with the likes of Auckland, Wellington. Also, who else is playing? I think Taranaki. Pretty much everyone is going to be playing in this weekend. And then also, we are going to be having a couple previews of the Bledisloe Cup match as well. And then that Bledisloe Cup match between the All Blacks and the Wallabies. And then the following one, I think we'll have maybe a midweek gaming live stream if that is something you guys are keen on as well. And Trots means proud in South Africa, says Manu, and Score not a big fan of from South Africa, says Eugene. Yeah, at this stage, still the 2 tries in that game for South Africa, keeping the British and Irish Lions tryless in this game, which if they can do that same thing in the second half, or sorry, in the third game, I should say, it could be a different story as well. Oh, hey, it's live as well, says Rio Gamer. It is indeed. We decided to do a post-match review as to the live stream. I think that was more of the case of because of the fact that normally I spend a lot of time editing these videos if I decide to make them a video. And I thought at this stage, with the way that my brain is, I'm going to be going straight back to sleep after this live stream is finished. So instead of ending up kind of half being asleep during the editing process, I decided I would do it as a live stream. But yeah, 50-50 position in this game as well, which is relatively close compared. That first half went well and truly in the favour of the British and Irish Lions in terms of that position, and also the line breaks and everything compared to the Springboks in the second block as well, says Chris. And also we have got there in the chat, and yeah, that link that I did post, Sebastian, is the one for the members one, just in case you were curious. I hope it works. I haven't actually tried it yet to see whether or not that does actually work, putting it in the chat. Can anyone tell me, just while we're at it, so that I know for future reference, if I put that link in the chat for the YouTube channel memberships, does it actually take you to that channel members page, or does it end up possibly, does it end up just not really working? Do let me know. And we have got Let's Go Wellington Lions and the Turbo and the Bunnings Cup as well, says Chris. And also Bay of Plenty, says Rio Gamer. But yeah, I am going to be covering as many of those games as physically possible. I know that there's a couple double kind of overlaps at this stage. So it's one of those ones I want to cover at least 2 or 3 games, if not about 6 a week. It's going to be exciting, and hopefully you guys will enjoy them as well. Tough to play the box when the rest have to call a fair game. Enjoy your humble pie, British and Irish Lions, says Social Logic. And also we have got, did you notice that Lions nearly always play the World Championship #1 ranked team as well, says Smithy. I guess that's one of those, yeah, it's an interesting situation because of the fact they're going to be playing Australia in 4 years. So we'll have to wait and see whether or not that will be the case, unless maybe the times that it's not the #1 team could be when it is Australia, unfortunately for them. But they're in a rebuilding process, and maybe they will give us a good game next week up against the All Blacks, because of the fact they actually won their last game against the All Blacks, the Wallabies, and it's currently 9:06 p.m. and in South Africa as well. Thanks for the information, says Manu. And yeah, I do appreciate you being here for this post-match review, and it is very much appreciated, all you guys still sticking around, even though the match has finished. It is awesome to still get to talk about the game, and also just think about what is going to be happening next week between them. We have also got the link works, says Jonas. Thank you very much for helping me out there, mate, in terms of that regard. But yeah, that is the channel membership one. So if anyone is wondering why there are random emojis going through the chat at the moment, it is because they have access through them through channel membership, right on that queue. Sebastian, thank you very much, mate, for becoming a channel member. Sebastian Grammar is now going to be able to use those emojis in the chat. I want to see a Kieran one, Sebastian. I feel like that is the emoji that I absolutely love the most. It is of this fella here. His head is a little bit flat. I'm going to have to pump him up a little bit more. I actually got the pump here. So I might have to use it at some stage. Nailed it. But yeah, we will have to use that in the future to be able to pump him back up so he is ready to go for the next week's matches for the All Blacks as well. And we have got in the chat, welcome, brother Sebastian, in the chat. And that actually means we're allowed to use another emoji, or now allowed to create another emoji. So thank you very much, Sebastian, as well. And we have got there, no, Australia probably has us, and also it would be silly if the Box didn't back up Russie's recent rants about the rest, says Sammy Souza. And also we have got, will Aussie be the #1 team though? Says Marco Vanapolia. Who knows, if they win the World Cup, they could be working their way up there perhaps. And we have got greetings from Malaysia. It is currently 3:07 a.m. and it's still 26 degrees Celsius. Just certainly hot there at the moment, that is for sure. Make a George face emoji, says Marco Vanapolia. I will get on to Isaac about it because of the fact he has been creating them for me and he has been doing a very good job, I have to say. But a George not impressed, I think, is going to be the next shout for an emoji. And also, while we are at it, if you guys have any other recommendations for emojis that you would like to see on the channel, be sure to let us know in that chat. We have also got a couple other ideas. We've got nonetheless in the plans possibly as well, but because of the fact that it is, I think we'd have to shorten it to NTL so you guys can read the kind of letters, because it is such a small little emoji. I think Rassi has done what possibly other coaches have been too scared to do as well, says Marco Vanapolia. Yeah, he put it on the line in terms of, he was saying he won't be water boy if they don't want him to be. He won't be a coach if they don't want him to be, but he wanted to put his name, or he wanted to put all of the information out there so that they can get in that situation of being able to improve it. And at this stage, I feel like this game came a long way since the last in terms of the refereeing, although there were still a few calls that people aren't too happy with. But it is just going to be one of those ones that maybe, yeah, hopefully the third game is going to be a good one in that regard. And I'm Waikato as well, says Marco Vanapolia. And also we have got in the chat from Sebastian, thank you for all you do, Hamish. You're an absolute legend, with the 10 out of 10 and the Kieran emoji as well. Anytime I see that Kieran emoji, I just get a massive smile on my face as well. We have got 10s and also Kieran in the ball from Katie. My voice is trying to disappear once again, and the George emoji seems to be the most popular one at this stage. So yeah, I will be able to message Isaac. The hardest thing about George is trying to take a photo of him, because he will want me to use a screenshot, but I feel like I need a photo so that it can be the highest quality. So I have to be like, hey, George, come just stand still for a second. And then who does George? I'll just say, like, the Crusaders aren't going to win this year. And he'll kind of go, and then I'll just take the picture, and then it will be good to go at that stage. I mean, I've got Kieran's in the chat. Everyone is putting the Kieran's at this stage, and I absolutely loving it. And in fact, yeah, it is just one of those emojis that I feel like it's going to become a staple of the channel as we move forward as well. And at this stage, I will just mention once again the try scorers in this match. It was originally, what about this emoji? It looks like a Christmas tree for me, for Ryan. Tell you what, we are already halfway to Christmas. Actually, it comes off as a weird emoji there for me for some reason through my live streaming software. But when I look at it on YouTube, it is actually a Santa emoji. So that's the thing. We're already halfway to Christmas. How? How has this happened already? That we are already more than halfway through the year. George's Crusaders is a Cesarea gamer. He is indeed. So just to mention, tell you what, actually, him and Rassi Erasmus in that regard would get along quite well, because I'll just say Nick Berry's name and George, because of the fact that he was refereeing that game between the Crusaders and the Rebels where the Crusaders got knocked out. I just say Nick Berry, and George's face will go from a happy boy to just straight down to not being very impressed at all. Now we have also got there, George doesn't seem very photogenic, says Marco. It's one of those ones, he's a country boy, so he's very laid back in regards of kind of like, if I'm like, hey, would you be able to take a photo of your face so I can use it as like a clear one for the thumbnail? He'll be like, no, just take a screenshot. You've already got one. So it's like, oh, okay. I will just do that. Do a Crusaders crossed out with a next to it as well, says Marco Vodapolavia, and also pandemic force changes in fan support as well, says MH Choi. And at this stage, it's one of those ones, the Western Force also, they're going to be a side. I know that that's not where you're going with it, but the Western Force are a side that I'm going to be looking forward to seeing in the future competitions for Super Rugby. Also, Fiji Draw and Moana Pacifica both getting added into the competitions. Going to be awesome indeed. One thing I like about the Lions Store is the midweek games. I enjoy a Wednesday night game and also the live stream as well. And yeah, it's one of those ones. I enjoyed it, although it was very taxing on the body because of the fact, like I mentioned in the actual live stream, I was kind of getting up at probably around 6 p.m. New Zealand time and going to sleep at like 8 a.m. And like it was back to back, like no breaks kind of thing. But now I'm going to have, this weekend's going to be the last time I'm going to have to get up at 4 a.m. for a little while. And I think it's going to be nice to be able to see the sun a little bit more. As you guys can probably tell from my pasty figure, haven't been out in the sun too much in the past kind of like month or two when this tour has been on. We have also got in there one thing, or we have also got Blues Battle Crusaders as well. Susie Mate Joy, that will be a good match when we do get to see it happen once again. And sorry for throwing off the chat. Apologies, my boy as well, says Ryan. No worries, mate. It is absolutely fine because of the fact that I have got access to it. To see the likes, I've got to look at this screen. To see the chat there, I look at this one as well. But I do like that center emoji. And I feel like I've got to have something based around maybe a red card, possibly, or something to do with that, or maybe a yellow card or something like that to be able to have to do with the games. But of course, that is one of those ones that we have only got limited spaces at the moment to be able to make the emojis. But yeah, George, not looking too happy. I think it's going to be the next one on the cards. Chief Mana, Gatlin stayed where you are, or stay where you are, please, as well, says Rare Game. Although Clayton McMillan did pretty well with them when he had left, but whether or not Warren Gatlin still had a little bit or something to do with that, perhaps could have been the case, unless it is Bryn Gatlin, perhaps, as well, also at the Chiefs. And I'm a salty hater who dislikes the Satyrs as well, says Marco Vodapolavia. And we have also got Lions need to relax, be patient, and most of all enjoy playing the game, says Emma Choi. And that's the thing. When you are in South Africa, the odds are against you straight away. So to be able to win that first game, that would have given them a lot of confidence. The second game didn't go their way, but I think with only a couple changes in that starting lineup, there's going to be a lot of pressure on the guys coming in, but I feel like that could actually make a huge impact on the game. The likes of, it could be Josh Adams, who can break the defense of the Springboks open. They just need to find enough space to be able to use that back line. Like I mentioned, the wingers just aren't getting an opportunity in these games for either side because of the fact that the ball just takes too long to be able to get out there with the rush defense that both sides are kind of using in this one. But we have also got, 3:30 a.m. wake-ups. Aren't very nice, says Marco Vonapolavia. Ended up getting up at 2:30 for this one. As you can tell, my eyes have stopped working. That one just doesn't want to open at this stage. But yeah, waking up at 2:30 when you've only gone to bed at like 10, or actually probably around 11, it's a little bit rough, but I'm going to get to sleep today, which is good news. That is for sure. And Flip Dude, I'm yawning like mad, like right now. The coffee caffeine is fading away. I might need some 420 to lift me up as well, says Marco von a polar bear. And I think at this stage, I am getting close to the end of this live stream. I'll end up probably going straight to bed after this one. Or I might have a shower first and then head off to bed after another big day of the British and Irish Lions tour of South Africa. I can't wait for New Zealand versus South Africa. And that's the thing. It's going to be the 100th match as well between the two sides. I want to send George down to Dunedin, but he's also said that if I did send him here, I don't think he'll see this live stream, so don't mention it to him otherwise outside of this one. But I did mention to him, I was like, if I was to buy you a ticket for that game in Dunedin between the All Blacks and the Springboks, would you be willing to do like a match day vlog? And he was like, no, sadly. So I was like, so that was a bit of a shame because I would love to be able to send him down there and kind of have like a match day vlog that he goes to and does it while he is out there. And Roddy, I'm about to head off as well, said Marco von a polar bear. Cheers for the stream, you legend, and also much love, chat. Have a great week, guys. See you next week as well. Same to you, mate. And thank you very much for tuning in once again. Barry Green has said very interesting game. Box made up for in the second half. First half was terrible as well, says Barry Green. They just didn't have enough of that position in that first half, it seemed. They just weren't quite able to find their way where they needed to. And it's one of those ones as well. The line out didn't go well for them straight away. And that is one thing that in the second half was phenomenal for them. Malcolm Marks off the back of that rolling maul was very impressive. And it did set up a couple opportunities as well. Later, bro. As well, says Rio Game. And also we have got Hit the Showers, brother. You've played a blinder. Catch you next time, says Thick Boy. And yeah, thank you very much, mate. Usually appreciate it. You've been here as well for these live streams. Hope to see you guys all for those, even Bunnings NPC ones. I know that a lot of people, definitely who aren't from New Zealand, won't be able to watch these games, but I recommend just getting to kind of come along for the live stream, come along for the chat, and also because of the fact that, it's pretty awesome having you guys here for these games, and they're going to be some good matches as well. They could be going either way, and some very talented players throughout those sides. I also see Sebastian put, if I'll get used to my own suggestion, the not impressed George, I'll be the happiest man as well. And Isaac, we trust. Yeah, I will recommend it to him. George will have to behave himself and let me take a photo of him as well for us to be able to do so. We've got a couple of them though in the past perhaps, but one without headphones might look a little bit better in this one. But yeah, I will get onto that tomorrow or the next day. Hopefully we will get to see each other because we are going to be filming some more videos for the Kiwi Lads gaming channel coming up. The Olympics. London 2012 is the game that we are going to be playing. Rassi saved the day with the ref as well, says Barry Green, and also well-deserved rest. Kiwi Lad says, yeah, mate, sure, and thank you very much, mate. And the only way the Lions can beat the Box is with Nick as well, says Fatherhood. Unedited, and at this stage also cheers. And later from Sammy Sosa, and later much appreciated, says Chris Co. But nonetheless, I think we are almost at the end of this live stream. 3 a.m. there in Perth at the moment for Chris. So it is going to be possibly bedtime there as well. Catch you all next week as well. Kiwi Lads is a legendary channel. And 10 out of 10, and the Kieran emoji as well, says Sebastian. Much appreciated, mate. And yeah, nonetheless, if you haven't already, be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new as well. We are going to be back with many more videos throughout the week, including Bledisloe Cup test. It's going to be previews of that one. Also, the British and Irish Lions third match, and that is going to be the decider as well. So plenty more coming. And yeah, if you are new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. But we will see you all for the next one.